Welcome back to Weems Motor Co. Today, we're going to talk about where I came from, the beginnings of Weems Motor Co. Stick around. So here we are, Father's Day 2022. I got my mom on the back of the old 2005 Harley Davidson, and I'm taking her out to coffee today to discover and maybe hear some stories about my dad that I've never heard before. And I wanted to make sure that I bring all of you guys along for this journey. We're also going to swing by, see one of my dad's greatest friends, his best friend from when he was growing up. And we're going to just talk about some old stories about motorcycles, building bikes, doing crazy stuff. And I thought it would be a great time to be able to share a little bit of my dad's life with all of you guys who are watching the video today. Man, I can't wait to hear some of the crazy things that may come up in these conversations. I've heard some pretty wacky stories about my dad, especially my dad and his best friend waking up in orange groves after a 3-day binge of eating mushrooms. Man, talk about a different time compared to these days, but it's going to be a great time learning about my dad, celebrating him today on Father's Day. So stick around, let's hear what kind of craziness comes out. Cheers, Mom.
Cheers.
Coffee. So, today's Father's Day.
Yes, and I'm your mother.
And she's my mom, but she's the closest thing I have to my dad left. She, what, God, y'all started dating when you were how old?
16.
16 years old. So, you met Dad at 16 years old? Mm-hmm. Did he have a motorcycle then?
I believe so.
You do?
It was a Yamaha chopper.
That sounds like Dad. He always liked the off-brand stuff. Like, well you couldn't afford the Harleys and everything like that, so it's no different than today. Harley Davidsons are too expensive for what they are. They're just a crappy motorcycle. So had a Yamaha chopper. So when was the first time you ever rode on a motorcycle with Dad?
Oh my gosh. Well, I had asked my mom if I could go riding, and we had horses, so she didn't think nothing about it. She thought it was horses, but it was a motorcycle.
Oh, so you lied to Grandma.
Well, not really. It was just a twist of the truth.
You rode an iron horse,
right,
instead of a hooved horse. It's a live animal.
Other than him being carted by my mom. Because he had the full beard. And she said, "You're older than 19.
How old was he?
He was 19. And then she seen his ID and it was okay.
Us Weems men, we know how to grow some facial hair, so.
But that was after the 2 weeks I was grounded for going riding on the bike.
So you went riding on the bike. Well, you lied saying you're going for a ride.
On a horse. Well,
you didn't say a horse.
I just said riding.
So it was a partial truth. So then she found out that it was a motorcycle?
Mm-hmm. And she grounded me for 2 weeks.
Okay. You were 16 years old. I would ground my daughter too. I wouldn't mind her going for a ride on a motorcycle because she's rode with me many times, but I don't want her to lie to me about it. Yeah. So you got grounded, and then after 2 weeks, Dad, being the knight in shining armor, the man that he is, he shows up at your house after you're grounded for 2 weeks and says, hey, this is who I am. I took your daughter out on the motorcycle. You hate me. And,
No.
Grandma says, you're not 19.
You're older.
You're old. You can't be 19.
You got a full beard.
You have a full beard. You can't be 19 years old. What was your favorite motorcycle that he ever had?
Oh my gosh. My 49, of course, because he built it for me so I could reach the ground.
I didn't know this was Mom's 49.
Yes, he built that for me.
So let's talk about the 49 Triumph. Told the story many times, and you've told it. That's the first motorcycle I ever touched was the 49 Triumph, and I remember vividly that Dad was building that motorcycle in the living room, right?
Yes.
Why? All right. So why was he building it in the living room?
Probably because we didn't have a shop. We lived in the duplexes at the time, and it was on ground level, so he would just pull it straight through the door and parked it right between the living room and the dining room.
What is the craziest thing you've ever seen Dad do or heard of Dad doing on a motorcycle?
That he wasn't really crazy, you know. He respected bikes, so he really didn't do too much crazy stuff. Now Tim, his best friend, probably could tell you some stories on that end when I wasn't around, because I wouldn't let him get crazy with me on it.
We're gonna go see Tim here in a minute. We're gonna go see what kind of crazy shenanigans him and Dad got into, because we already talked about waking up in orange groves after a 3-day binge on mushrooms. So I'm sure there's going to be some fun stories to hear there. Thank you for coming and having coffee with me, Mom. Love you so much. Well, thank you, Foundation Coffee. Let's head on down the road. Let's see if we can go meet up with my dad's old best friend. Alright, so here's the deal. From what I've been told was Tim and my dad met sometime in high school. Something about my grandparents moving to the area. I'm sure it has to do something probably with drugs. I mean, it was the 70s. We've already talked about that. So we're going to go over to Tim's house, see the only father left in my life, wish him a happy Father's Day, and hear some of these crazy stories about them back when they were teenagers and growing up and meeting their wives and having children. So let's go see what Tim has to say about Mike Weems. Was that Freebird?
Freebird. That was just the beginning of it. Yeah, you know.
The story goes is the first time I met my wife was in the waiting room when she was being born, because you were my dad's best friend, and we were there at the hospital. And so I've known Tim all my life, and I remember that you guys moved to Tennessee up there by us.
Right.
And he had a Yamaha XS 650, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would ride this thing to work, like in what, 20-degree?
Absolutely. It was freezing. I mean, after being down here all these years, and it was just cold.
How's the coffee?
Good.
All right, so how much coffee do you drink in a day?
I drink, let's say, 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 8 cups a day.
Good Lord.
That's where Bree gets it from. You gave that talent to my wife about drinking coffee. I just had coffee with Mom. Great time hearing some crazy stories about Dad, and I know you and Dad were like super close growing up. And first off, happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much.
Well, no. Hey, thank you for letting me marry your daughter.
You're more than welcome.
She's amazing. I think everybody on the channel agrees that my wife is amazing. So thank you for that. So, when did you meet my dad?
Back in 1972.
So that was high school, right?
That was high school, right.
So 1972.
We both were in.
We've been talking about the 70s on the video, so.
Right.
So y'all initially met playing music.
Right.
So that's another thing that me, my dad, and my father-in-law were. I mean, you see the guitars hanging, a piano on front. So music is a big part of all of our lives.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how you guys met then.
Right. Your dad bought a Honda 305 Nighthawk.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And at the time, I had a little old Honda 100 Scrambler.
Oh, sweet. So you were Honda guys then?
Yeah.
And this is like high school time?
Yeah.
Like mid-70s then?
Right, yeah. 73,
oh, okay.
74.
Oh, wow.
We're going way back now. And we were just riding and just partying, doing miscellaneous stuff.
Would you say miscellaneous stuff or like nefarious stuff? Like shenanigans?
No, we never did nothing like that.
Yeah, right. I heard this story about you guys waking up in an orange grove.
Yeah, that was a bottle of tequila.
Oh! I thought it was mushrooms. So it was tequila.
It could have been both. It could have been other things. It could have been some LSD.
LSD, we're throwing another one into the mix.
Now, we're going way back, and that.
I know we're different people now. Life happens. We've all made our mistakes, but I mean, some of those things are the greatest stories. So, do you remember the first time you ever like did drugs with my dad?
Yep, we were sitting. We were sitting in his bedroom at your grandpa and grandma. We were sitting there, and he got some Mexican trip.
Oh, so that's marijuana.
You're right.
It's a type of marijuana. Okay, all right.
And we got in his room, and we started smoking it, and had the lights on. You know, we got a black
So
light.
what you're saying is my dad introduced you to drugs in your friendship.
No. No, we're doing.
So you introduced my dad to drugs.
We both introduced each other.
We're like, hey, let's go check this out together.
Right.
Okay, all right.
And back in those days, it was love and peace.
Yeah.
You know, we had, you know.
And drugs.
And drugs.
And
alcohol.
And orange groves. And
Okay, now, I don't know how we got to that point, but we went out and we were drinking Ripple, the old dollar wine.
Okay,
bottle of Ripple. And then we end up getting a bottle of tequila. We're sitting out and walking through the orange groves. And we end up, by the time we knew it, we drank that whole bottle. We couldn't walk. We were all scraped up and we passed out. And we slept there all night long in the sand and sand fleas, and we were all bit up. And what happened? I don't know, man. That tequila kicked my butt. You know, yeah, me too. And so we staggered on home, you know.
That's awesome. So what's the craziest thing you've ever seen my dad do on a motorcycle? Like, you see, rode wheelies, burnouts.
Oh, yeah, we used to do that. And,
so he was a good rider?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know.
Maybe I'll glean some of that skill set riding bikes. Well, Tim, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for answering some questions. And once again, happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you very much, Jared.
Well, always great hanging out with Tim and Carol and hearing those stories about Dad. Reminiscing about the old days, and obviously, you know, as life goes on and we age, we mature, and, you know, eventually Dad and both Tim got involved in church, played music as church musicians, and raised their kids to believe in Christ. And that's kind of what kind of encircles my whole life now, that You know, motorcycles, music, church, now doing YouTube, building custom motorcycles. That's who I am, and that's what Weems Motor Co. is. So I am super glad that you guys could come join this journey today as we hear about it. Take Mom out for a little ride on the bike, visit some old friends, just have a great day. Hopefully all of you guys are having a great Father's Day. Make sure that you reach out to your dad if he's still with you today and tell him Happy Father's Day. If he's not, do like I did. Share some of those great memories, have those conversations, ask those questions. But if you're new around here, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. Jump down, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, turn those notifications on, and let everyone know what's going on right here at Weems Motor Co. Peace. What'd they do?
I don't know what kind of
We did a lot of
they did.
acid back there.
Acid.
Anyway, he was scared to come up with my dad.
I was scared.
So
Yeah.
I had to go to the bus stop the next morning. I walked up to the bus stop and I saw Chopper Joe sitting there. He was sitting on at that time they had the coolers that had the Cokes and the bottle Cokes and stuff in it. And he was sitting up on the side of it. I said, walked up to him, I said, "Are you Chopper Joe?" He said, he looked at me, he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Why?" I said, "You gonna see Tim Parker this morning?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You tell him thanks a hell of a lot." I turned around and walked off. They met us at school that morning. Tim was at school before I got there on the bus that morning. Oh. I told him he was lucky I gave him a second chance.
I called it.
So you almost
Almost.
my dad almost ruined my marriage. Before I was even born. Before I was even thought of.